So, shall we get started? Everybody ready?
No.
Tony.
Okay, so,
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
all right,
I told you I wasn't ready for that.
Are you sure about that party?
we're having, that's right.
Right, the party already started.
Hey, that's only a total lunar eclipse. This is a supermoon.
Dun dun dun.
Okay, now, as you might remember, what does it mean? It actually is meaningless, but,
we're gonna repeat it
happens,
anyway.
Technically, it's actually called a perigee full moon. It's simply when, the moon's orbit is elliptical, at one point in its orbit is closest to the Earth, at the other point it's farthest, and sometimes that happens, the closest point happens when it's full. So the moon looks, 7? What's the percentage difference, Dave?
I think that is
Dr.
7%.
Rhodes?
Yeah, 7% bigger than
7%
average.
bigger and 30% brighter. Well,
Than the
okay, or
smallest.
14% bigger than the smallest it can ever look, and 30% brighter than the dimmest it can ever be. I'm always a little skeptical of that because it's still half a degree across. I'm not skeptical that those numbers are not correct, but how well you can perceive that. The months before the perigee full moon is still going to look just about as big and bright, and it's very gradual change from month to month. So it doesn't
You're a
look
buzzkill.
I'm a buzzkill. Now,
All right, everybody go out and observe the supermoon. Come back and tell us it was
Right.
brighter. It was bigger.
right, so we always get asked lots of questions, and to be prepared for the inevitable questions that we're going to get, I thought I'd get the statistics on this one. I used the Jet Propulsion Laboratory Horizons interface, which actually allows you to have the most accurate computing power possible. You can get the moon's distance to within a few inches of accuracy. And so here is the center of the Earth, the center of the moon. As the moon crosses the horizon crosses the meridian, rather, at midnight, a little after midnight on the 10th, so early in the morning on the 10th, it'll be 221,878 miles away.
You're not going to read us all those numbers, are
No,
you?
but you can see at its very closest, the center of the two objects will be 221,765 miles away, 100 miles different, not anything practical. So really, throughout the date of the 10th, it's not going to change its distance very much, center to center. But how about here in Los Angeles, the true center of the universe? Here we see that when it is overhead, or closest to overhead, near midnight on the 10th, it will be 219,000 miles from us. When it's actually closest to center, it'll be farther from us. It'll be 225,000 miles away. That's because of the radius of the Earth. And it's not exactly 4,000 miles because the moon isn't directly over the point opposite Los Angeles. It's off a little bit. So anyway, you can see actually our daily motion is actually a little bit more significant than how much the moon's distance will change over the course of the 10th. But anyway, what I think
So
is
go
most...
out at 12:28 a.m. is the answer.
Right. I think
morning
people on
of
the other
10th.
side of the Earth, though, will get a spectacular view, not so much because the moon is closer, but they'll actually see it when it's really full. Full moon happens almost, it's in the late morning, our time, so we can't see the moon at all then. But when the moon is full, within 12 hours of either side of it, it looks unusually bright because of the way it reflects light. Okay. Now,
Is there any kind of noticeably behavior change in tidal behavior?
well, tides overall on the Earth would be a little higher simply because the two bodies are closer together.
And because F equals GMM over R squared.
Right. So,
Because of
yeah,
Einstein.
yes, but no more than usual. And actually, the shape of the moon's orbit varies quite a bit from month to month due to where the sun is and things like that. So nothing, I wouldn't expect anything at all unusual because of it that way.
Yeah.
Well,
And
also
although I was
spring
making a joke, when it's over R squared, R is the distance away. And so if it's in the basement, in the denominator, that goes smaller, the number goes up. So it's actually true, the force of gravity, there was a stronger force at that time.
Yeah. Now, another thing that's happening...
Question.
Oh.
What makes it look larger when it's closer to the horizon?
That actually is not completely known. It's been speculated about since ancient times. It's called a horizon effect. Apparently, when the moon is low on the horizon, it tends to look bigger than when you see it overhead, irregardless of what its angular size is, how close it is to the Earth. It may have something to do with you comparing it to known objects. If you saw a building that looked that big and you knew it was beyond the last mountain range, you would figure, wow, that's really gigantic, even though it might only cover the same amount of sky that the moon appears to. Whereas when you see it overhead, well, it only covers that much sky and you really can't compare it to anything. That's my guess. Supposedly it disappears, and I haven't tried this, but if you look at it upside down, sometimes the illusion goes away, if it's an illusion. All right.
It's also thought that when you're looking straight across at the horizon, your eye perceives a larger image than when your eye is looking overhead.
Yeah. I'm sure, like, if you look at things in a mirror, say, reflect the horizon so that you have to look down to see it in a mirror, the relative sizes look different and stuff. Your perceptions change quite a bit. So I think it has a little bit more to do than that.
Our brains have evolved too to process the information in different ways, and so seeing things on the horizon and using that scale is really important for not getting eaten and things. And so the way in which we process that information and make comparisons on the horizon is different, as you were saying, and so it's a matter of perception, not measurement. If you measure it, if you take a piece of clear plastic and outline the moon, hold it at arm's length at moonrise, and then do it later, it'll be exactly the same size. It's all in here.
Yeah. And basically the moon supermoon, the term supermoon really grates on me. I don't know. It's
We'll just be
it's
sure
a
to
recent,
use it a lot then.
Yeah, it's a recent media thing. Get people excited about it. I don't know, but anyway.
So what's going to happen the night after?
Yeah,
the
well,
supermoon?
actually, we got our favorite summertime event, the Perseid meteor shower. Now, this is a time when, like, you can go out camping, wake up before sunrise, and look for a couple hours, and you might see as many as 120 per hour, right? Except, well, look at the date this year. It's, oh no. Well, I can't escape from it as well as anyone else.
So how many an hour do you think we'll see?
Well, actually, if you go out to way out in the desert and stuff, you still can't escape the supermoon, so you'll probably only see like 30 an hour, something like that. In the city, expect maybe even a quarter of that. So. All right. Now, the other thing, and if I may, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting the pointers. If you get up early in the morning on the night of the 28th, actually just before sunrise on the 29th, and look to the east, you'll see two bright dots low on the horizon about half an hour before sunrise. This is Venus and Jupiter. This is what you'd see about through a 10-power binocular. There's also a beautiful cluster of stars just above it. I should correct myself. You'd have to look a little more than half an hour before sunrise because the sky will be too bright at that point to see it. This is supposed to be at 5:30 in the morning, so it's more like 45 minutes to an hour before sunrise, I think. But in any case, this is the star cluster in Cancer, the Crab. Very
Yay,
beautiful in
Cancer.
binoculars, and you'll see two brilliant planets next to it. If you look very, very carefully, you may see the moons of Jupiter. Yay, Cancer, yeah. We're both.
That's right.
That's right.
Anyway,
Oh, happy
but we
birthday,
don't
by
talk
the
about
way.
these
I
things
didn't
because we're
mention-
astronomers.
That's right. And then, that's right. Yeah, I'm against this birthday stuff. All it is one revolution around the sun on this planet, and there's hundreds of billions of planets. in the
I'm counting
galaxy,
trips
and-
around the galaxy.
That's right.
I'm not even one yet.
I haven't gotten many yet.
Yeah,
but-
that makes me very young. Go
well,
ahead.
let me tell you. It's not all it's cracked up to be.
250,000 years. Go ahead.
All right. On also the same morning, Neptune is in opposition. That's its closest point to the Earth that it will be for the whole year. What do we call that in astronomy? The super
Neptune.
Neptune. Yeah. Neptune will appear a fraction of an arc second larger than it does on its average. No. Okay, anyway, well, this is from heavens above, the great satellite tracking
go
site.
downhill
This is
from
the inner solar system. Here's the Earth. We shrink it down into the square, put us here, and Neptune is out over here. It's actually the farthest planet, since Pluto is no longer one. And we can see, even at its closest, it's more than 4 light hours away. Now, it's possible that we may show it here at Griffith Observatory, not on that night because that's when it's highest at midnight, but about a month later it will be about the only planet in a good position to see. And so, you know, when weather conditions are nice and steady, you can see it, and it looks like a tiny blue marble, okay? Even though it's 5 times the size of the Earth. This is what Voyager 2 saw in 1989 when it passed close to Neptune, and you see its largest moon, Triton. Also, looking back at it as a crescent.
Triton and Pluto are likely to look similar.
Well, we'll see. We'll find
In
out.
a year.
Yeah. I'm waiting for psychics. I'm going to give them, you know, another maybe 6 months to come up with their best shot at what Pluto really looks like using remote viewing. Wouldn't that be a nice experiment? Anyway, we have public star parties here. I'm sorry, I'm pointing at you instead of up here. On the beginning, actually tomorrow, and then the last Saturday of the month, we'll have public star parties. It's a chance for you to come up here and not only look through our telescopes, but also through dozens of telescopes provided by the Los Angeles Astronomical Society, the Planetary Society, and especially the Sidewalk Astronomers. So I hope you'll avail yourself of that. And finally, you know, you've gotten me from, I think I had like 90-something last time I brought this up, but in the last month I've gotten about 50 more followers. So if you want to find out... Thank you. But very few of them are people from All Space Considered, I'm afraid.
If you use the hashtag supermoon, then I'll follow you.
You know,
I like it.
oh,
Yeah.
you know, let me
That's
tell
great.
you, you know, supermoons are one of my very favorite things in astronomy.